So good evening and welcome to the Billingham Forum Ice Arena and welcome to the very first ever Stars Talk. So yes, very good evening. We're going to be live here on Facebook every week from 8 o'clock, giving you the inside scoop on all things relating to the Billingham Stars. Apologies for that slight technical hitch that we just had. This is the first episode, so things are going to go wrong. So joining me tonight, we have got Carol White, and you didn't really have a title, so I just gave you media coordinator.
That's fine by me.
Director of coaching Terry Ward, of course, and General Manager Alan Flavel. And later on, we're going to be joined by Daniel Palm-York as well as Scott Cooper. So stay tuned for that. Tonight, we are going to be talking about the Swedish takeover that has happened. 2 Swedish imports now on the Stars roster. We're also going to be talking about other signings such as Callum Reid, Jack Watkins and Scott Cooper, of course. X marks the spot, but who is going to mark the X in the score sheet for that win at the pre-season friendly this weekend? We'll be discussing about that, as well as local rivals. Whitley Warriors have joined the club. Don't know if you guys heard about that.
What was that, sorry?
The Whitley Warriors joining the cup. So that'll be an interesting one, replacing Witness Wild, of course. So we do encourage you guys at home to get involved. You can leave a comment down below under the video here on Facebook, or if you want to just be awkward and go and drop us a tweet, then we are at Billingham TV on Twitter and use the hashtag Stars Talk. So let me get to the next page on my script. Alan, we're going to go to you first. It's been a busy summer for the Stars, hasn't it?
It always is, you know, obviously from one season finishing to the next, the focus is obviously on re-signing players that we want to continue to play for the Stars, and we're always looking for new talent, as well as obviously sponsors. That's been one of the key factors this summer, not just players, but actually looking for retain existing sponsorship with Ultimate Windows, which we've been successful with, and that's fantastic, but also bringing on board North East Fire Protection this year as a main team sponsor, which is, you know, another fantastic achievement for us. And of course we've been looking at the player situation, and you know, we needed to try and strengthen up our forward line up a little bit more, and Sweden was the place we went to.
And Terry, 2 other people that have come back on the Stars roster are Michael Bowman and Richie Thornton, and they're back on the coaching team with yourself. How has training been going so far? And obviously a lot of new players, how have they been mixing in with the team?
It started off very well. I think the players have come back fitter this year than they have done in previous seasons, which is a good point. We've obviously got Bomber and Richie there, Michael Bowman, doing the coaching, but also Paul Windridge, we've encouraged him to come on. He's still going on the ice and he's going to help out too. So we've added Paul to that little bit of structure as well. Training so far has been going very well. A lot of new faces. The lads are starting to gel in well now, starting to get onto lines, so everything's coming to place. Hopefully we'll find out this weekend.
And just recently, Carol, we have had the Stars Summer Barbecue. Give us a bit of a match of the day style rundown of how that went, because we did have a football game, didn't we?
Match of the day. I didn't come in my pants today, so unfortunately I can't do a Gary Lineker. Match report for the Stars' point of view. It was a pre-season game with a difference, if you like. Started badly and went downhill from there, really. Wolverhampton scored after, I think, a minute and a half. We did have some great players out there. We had James Moss leading from the front, if you like. Our new Swede, Daniel, was unlucky with a few of his attempts, including a bicycle kick and a flying header. I think Alan had a heart attack at one of those, actually. And we had Fox in the box, Josh Nertney, he went close with a few. But unfortunately, we were 8-0 down by half-time. I think Alan put something in the water, because we managed to draw the second half 1-1. A bit of a trip against Daniel, and he took the resulting penalty and belted it down the middle. 9-1 final score. What can we say? I think it was good to keep the lads fit, though.
Some potential corruption in that game with a certain linesman going up and down the
I
pitch.
think basically Wolverhampton went into the game with a little bit more serious attitude than our Stars, it was a pre-season get-together for a barbecue, and like I say, they took it a little bit more serious than we did, possibly in the first half, and then in the second half, they just throttled it back a little bit and made a bit more fun about it. It was all about a fun day really for everybody. It wasn't just about the football match, but yeah, we wanted to score a goal and we got one, so that's the main thing.
Maybe ask Hull if they want any spare players to come on the ice and just invite the football team along. How did the day go in general, though, Carol?
Really, really well. I mean, we've been doing this for some years now. I think this was our 5th barbecue. They get better and better every year. Everybody has a good time. We had more people there this year than ever before. And I think the tie-up with Wolverhampton really worked well.
Brilliant. So, all three of you then, we have been saying that we've had a lot of new players come into the Stars over the summer. We'll go one by one. Who would be your kind of standout signings that we've got so far? And since you are the main man, Alan, we'll go for you first.
I don't want the main man, but the guy that really caught my eye that I thought we could obviously needed to get back was Dennis Bostrom. He was the top point scorer at Billingham last year. That's sort of the goal tally and points tally hadn't been surpassed for a long time, so he was one of the key players I really wanted to bring back to Billingham. Bringing Daniel along with him has been a bit of a bonus, because Daniel looks pretty sharp as well, so I'm sure the pair of them are going to perform really well for us. But I mean, all the lads we've got signed this year, they've all got their own qualities.
And Terry?
Yeah, I think for me it was getting all the players back really. We had a good finish to the season last season, and getting them guys back and playing with the same kind of confidence at the start of the season was valuable to us. I mean, it's great that we've got a few new signings to add to that, as with Daniel and Scott and Jack. So it's really nice to have them guys come into the team and strengthen the team. It just gives the coaching staff a lot more confidence and to work with some more experienced players. But I think in general, every sign has been, all the players back has been a great sign for me.
And a bit of a fan for you from yourself, Carol. Who would you say has stood out for yourself and the rest of the fans?
I think, having watched him a few times last season, I was really pleased to see Callum Reid step up. I think he's an excellent skater. He's a big guy. He's a solid unit. So I think he gives us a few more options at the back there. He's got considerable presence, and I'm glad that he's decided to make that step up.
So you did touch upon the fact that we have got Dennis Bostrom back, and now we have 2 Swedes on the team, and probably quite an obvious answer that I'm going to get really, but do you think they're going to make a real difference out there on the ice, having 2 imports now?
Well, yes, it's bound to really. I mean, bring any sort of quality player in. I mean, the thing you've got to remember that only one of these lads can be on the ice at any one time. So we've got to be careful there with penalties and what have you, because if any of them take a penalty at all, then the other non-British trained player can't get on the ice. So there's pluses and minuses there.
So I do want to turn our attention now to the pre-season game that is fast approaching, a couple of days away, against the Hull Pirates, who are an EPL team. How did that come about, Alan?
Well, Shane Smith, that used to run the Sheffield Steel Dogs, came here a couple of years ago for a pre-season challenge game, and he's involved with the team now at Hull. The coach at Hull, Dominic, I can't even remember his second name to be fair, but Dominic had contacted me and said, were we interested in having a pre-season friendly? And I thought, well, it's a tough challenge. It's going to be a hard game, but again, it'll give us a benchmark as to where we are, fitness-wise, skill-wise, and what have you. It's going to be good for the fans to watch us play at that level and what have you as well. So all the lads will be up for it, definitely.
They came 9th out of 10th in the EPL League last year, and it was their first year as a new team as well. They've made a lot of changes now. Terry, it is a friendly, but what is going to be kind of the plan of attack on Saturday, and do you think they are going to pose quite a challenge for the team?
Oh yeah, they're obviously going to pose quite a challenge for the team. They're from a higher league than us, but I think we're going out there. We've got 2 tough games against them, which is exactly what we want, to see where we're standing at and where we're at ready for the season. The week after our league programme starts in earnest, so we need to get some games under our belt. very good opposition. Like you say, they have made some good signings, and they're going to be a tough team to play against. And I'm sure they'll want to beat us, and we don't want them to beat us basically, and we don't want to get embarrassed by them. So we'll be trying as much as we can.
And 5 p.m. face-off on Saturday for that one, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
So do come along to that if you can. On to NIHL then. We do have a new team in the league. Of course, the Dragons have come up from the Laidler Conference, and our first game of the NIHL season. Do you think that they're going to be a particular challenge for us?
Well, again, I think the D-side Dragons have done some signings through the summer months and what have you. I don't really know a great deal about them, to be fair. Years ago they were called Flintshire, and we always had a bit of a problem over there, so it'll be a tough challenge. And like I say, any road game in this league is going to be a tight game. Nobody likes to get beat at home, so yeah, it will be a tough challenge for us, but I would like to think we've got a team this year that will go over there and do some winning.
Remember, it's the Dragons. We don't want to get any particular people suing us, if that's okay.
Right.
So over the name issue. Terry, you have talked a little bit about the training. Do you think the guys are ready about now to get back on the ice and face our first game of the season?
Yeah, we've had a long layoff. The guys have had a long summer off, and they've been back in training a few weeks now. Our imports came over last week, and they've had a few trainings under the belt as a team. So we're just raring to go now. We want to see where we're at really at the start of the season. Like I say, I think our fitness levels are a bit better than what they were last year at the start of the year. We made a conscious decision to make that better as well. So.
Carol, the supporters club are running a bus down to Hull on Sunday for the game at their arena, of course. Are there still spaces on that bus? Can people still come along?
Yes, there are still spaces available on the bus. We've hired a nice a bus to take us in comfort this time, and we're offering it at a reduced rate just for the friendly. So it's only £13 to travel on Sunday. We've had a really nice offer from an ex-Whitley Warriors player who owns the nearby pub that if you wear your Stars colours on Sunday, you will get some discounts off the beer. So there's lots of reasons to go, not least the chips and chip spice. And if you've never been to Hull, they're worth going just for the chips on their own.
Drink responsibly while you're there. And as well, I'm assuming there's a bus for the D-side Dragons game as well.
Yeah, we have provisionally booked a bus for D-side, providing we get the interest, of course. And at the moment, that is priced at £23. The more people we get, we will be able to reduce that price.
Well, Alan and Terry, thank you very much for joining us, but we are going to let you get off and sort out the training because we want the team in shape, don't we? And joining us in just a moment, we are going to have Daniel Palmer and Scott Cooper coming on. So thank you to Alan and Terry for coming on just before, but now we do have a couple of players here with us. Our new sweet Daniel Palmer, and we do have returning star Scott Cooper, kind of. He wasn't here since the name change, but he's back. So guys, how's training been going?
Yeah, really well. We've been back, I think the full squad's been here about a week. But yeah, meeting new guys, meeting Daniel and obviously Dennis as well, so yeah, it's gone well.
And Daniel, you've been in England for just over a week now. How have you been settling in?
It's been good so far. I've been trying to get like everything off my bucket list. Still got the fish and chips left, and yeah, well, that's about it. I actually got a car, so I've been driving on the wrong side now.
All right.
That's fun. It's working.
Have you heard of the local delicacy known as a parmo?
Yeah, I haven't tried one of those either.
Carol will
It's
sort you
next.
out with one of those.
It's next on my list.
Add to the bucket list, story.
So, has Dennis been telling you much about the other teams that we're going to be facing in the league?
Yeah, a little, mostly about Whitley.
Whitley,
the rivals, I heard. I think it'll be fun playing them. I know they have a big physical team and like big atmosphere in their rink, so that'll be fun.
Have you heard much about the Hawks?
The Hawks, no. Fortunately,
That's fine then. Carol, Dan did just mention Whitley, our local rivals, and they're, as we mentioned before, stepping up to the cup now. Do you think that's going to change things? Because we won last time, guys.
Well, obviously they're replacing Widnes. Widnes were a low league team last year, and pretty much steamrolled in every game. So obviously having a competitive team in the cup does make it a lot more interesting. Unfortunately, for everybody, it's 2 games home and away, except for Whitley, who apparently have got issues with ice time. So we only play them once home and away in the cup. That will make those cup and league games together really interesting, because obviously they're going to be doubly important. But we'll have to see what effect that has on the cup longer term.
And Scott, you haven't played for Billingham since 2009. Like we say, that was back when it was the Billingham Bombers. You were playing for the under-18s team. Bit blunt, but what made you come back?
There's a few personal sort of circumstances, mainly because I'm a sort of a local, work commitments. I only live sort of 10 minutes up the road. I spoke to Alan a little bit over the summer, and I came down and trained with the guys for a week when I felt I was healthy enough, and I felt really comfortable being in sort of with the old guys who I've knew for years. There was that little bit of a spark, so I made the move.
And obviously you have just come from Whitley. It's going to be strange playing at Hillheads in the derby and wearing a Billingham jersey.
Yeah, definitely it's going to be strange, physical I would imagine. But Hillheads, I think, it's a great atmosphere up there, whether you're sort of an away team or definitely the home team, so I'm looking forward to it either way.
So we are facing an EPL team this weekend in the pre-season friendly, the Hull Pirates. How are you guys both feeling about facing them?
Being honest, I don't know a lot about them. I know they were a new team in the EPL last year. They've got a few young guys that a few of us know, a few decent imports as well that a few of us have heard of. So, but to be honest, we're not too sure what they're going to bring on Saturday at home. And I'm sure they'll give us a good game on Sunday in their place as well.
And I was going to say your first game for the Stars, Dan, but obviously you did score the only goal at the barbecue, so well done for that one. But your first time on the ice for Billingham in a game, you're going to be wanting to leave a mark?
Yeah, obviously I want to introduce myself to the new crowd and everything, and well, since it's a team from the league above, I think, so it'll be a good test for us as well.
And we are going to be facing in our league a few difficult teams in the first few games, aren't we, Carol? I mean, the Hawks we're going to be playing against quite a lot. We're going to be seeing how good the Dragons are. Do you think that we're going to get off to a good start with the first few games?
It's going to be interesting. The Dragons, I think we just mentioned, are a bit of an unknown quantity. They have kept a core group of players from last season. They lost Palak. We saw him at playoffs and he was truly excellent, but he's gone to Sheffield Steel Dogs. They've signed a Finnish guy in his place. We don't really know much about him. Bennett's gone back to Telford, so that's a real loss for them. It's going to be interesting to see. They played in a pre-season game last week against Solihull and got spanked. So, but they were missing players allegedly. So we really don't know what to expect until we play them. Solway, I think we face after that. They're hugely strengthened at the back. They've made some really classy signings at the back. They've picked up Hutchinson. He was at Hull, but he's decided to step down a level. And then they've signed Miettinen, who was at Blackburn last season. They already had Senko, so their D looks absolutely excellent. They're going to be really tough to score against. And then the game after that, we are still on the road. We face Blackburn, and they're completely unknown. Obviously, they've got titles to defend, but they've got so few of their players left from last season. They're a completely new team, effectively. They have some really strong-looking imports. They've signed some guys from EPL level as well, but I think it's going to depend really on how quickly they gel as a team under their new coach. So really, we're kind of going into the unknown at the beginning of the season. Hopefully, we can pick some points up on the road, and by the time we come back to the Forum on the 18th, we'll have some points on the board.
And guys, just before we go, are you going into the season with any personal aims for yourselves? Obviously, getting to the playoffs is going to be one for the team, but personally for yourselves, have you got any targets?
I think for me personally, it's just to develop on that role as a D-man. I've played as a forward for years, so I'm still learning the defensive role. Hopefully under the guidance of Richie Thornton, who's obviously played at a higher level for many years in his career as a D-man. I'm going to learn off him. I've already picked up a lot of things off him so far, and maybe just adding a few points on the board from the back, and just adding to that solid defensive unit that we've got.
And for yourself, Dan?
Well, it's a new league for me, so it's kind of hard to know really what to expect. But obviously, I know why I'm here, and I'm here to score some points. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Brilliant. My technical person over there, Chloe, do we have any questions for these two? No, we don't. Well, that's a shame. Well, guys, we are looking forward to seeing you getting on the ice for the pre-season friendly, and best of luck for that. It is a higher team than us, obviously, in the high league, but I'm sure we can make some damage there. So thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much to Alan and Terry for joining us as well, and Carol, thank you very much for joining us as well.
Thank you.
Well, we will not be back next week, that is. We're going to skip a week, and then we'll be starting again on Tuesdays from 8 o'clock, so you can catch us live here. Less technical hitches next time as well. But be looking out for any updates on the official Billingham Stars Facebook page and Twitter page with regards to the season and games, etc. And of course, you can keep up to date with Stars TV on our own pages as well. Go on, Carol, you can plug the new website as well.
Launched yesterday, still got the same website address, so everybody should have it by now, but it's www.billinghamstars.co.uk. Thanks to Danny Kay for all his hard work.
And Stars TV will be back with the first highlights of this new season. Stars Talk will be back, remember, not next week, but the week after on Tuesday from 8 o'clock. So thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye.